Amanpreet Ahluwalia, a true master of rally car preparation and modifications, has forged an extraordinary path in the world of rally racing. With an unwavering dedication to his craft, he has emerged as a force to be reckoned with, leaving a trail of mind bending experiences and victorious triumphs in his wake. With every turn of the wheel, Amanpreet has encountered the exhilarating highs and bone chilling challenges that define the rally world. From conquering treacherous terrains to navigating hairpin bends with impeccable precision, he has pushed the limits of his skills and machinery to emerge victorious. His heart pounding victories have etched his name in the annals of rally racing history, a testament to his unwavering commitment and unwavering spirit. But Amanpreet's journey extends beyond the racetrack. His prowess in rally car preparation has earned him widespread acclaim as he flawlessly fine tunes the performance of these magnificent machines. From meticulously optimizing engine power to crafting suspension setups that defy gravity, Amanpreet's expertise ensures that each rally car he touches is a finely tuned for greatness. Yet, amidst the mind bending victories and adrenaline fueled challenges, Amanpreet remains grounded. Driven by an insatiable passion for the rally world, his relentless pursuit of excellence and his ability to extract every ounce of potential from his machines make him a true luminary in the rally racing community. So, ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you the king of the Gypsy King, Amanpreet Ahluwalia. Thank you so much, Aman Bhaiya. Finally, I get to see you after ages now. I think I'm coming to your workshop after approximately 10-12 years. मुझे याद है last time I had come and that was I think मुझे थार के ऊपर कुछ काम करवाना था अपनी.
Correct. And that's quite some time now.
That's quite some time now. Yeah. आज आपके साथ बात करने की opportunity मिली है. I'll try and take out the maximum juice out of you.
और anytime जी.
Because of the main reason कि आपका जो experience है, you've got a very solid experience and you've got such a strong set of knowledge and skills when it comes to tuning and preparing vehicles for gypsy, for rallies and rallycross events.
Correct.
So not just for myself but also for the viewers, I feel there are a lot of aspiring and budding drivers who want to pursue rally driving and rallycross events. So it will be nice to have as much information from your side as far as possible.
Absolutely. Yeah,
सबसे पहले I would want to start from the first question: why cars?
See, it's, I think anybody's being a boy, you know, when you're young. So everybody who's growing up will definitely has his own secret model to admire. बचपन में गाड़ियों का शौक सारे लड़कों को होता है. That's why everybody buys those dinky cars and you know जो pull back, push back वाली cars होती हैं, you know. So every person till date is also having those collection of cars. So I think it is inborn thing for a guy to have love for cars. And मेरा तो suddenly इसलिए gradually build up होता रहा because I always you know loved sitting with my dad. That time we had older Fiat and Ambassador also. So I used to sit on with my dad on his lap. I used to hold the steering and drive. So that thing is coming from my dad only because he taught me everything how to drive.
He was also equally passionate about
cars. So he is very fond of, still very fond of, because when once he got to know that I've set up this way, because he's not here, he's in US. So he's very passionate about what I do, what is the business happening in India. You know, if you're doing gypsies, why don't you send gypsies to USA? You know, there's a lot of demand for these smaller 4x4 vehicles out there. So he keeps asking me. So he's very enthused. So I think maybe I've taken it from him. So अच्छा लगता है, you know, when the entire family is passionate about, you know, cars. So it's a good feeling. So obviously, being a boy, cars is something which is inborn.
So I would like to know a little more or a lot more in detail कि आपका ये passion जो था, ये profession में आपने कब choose किया, क्या सोच के choose किया, how auto attitudes started, when it started, please.
To be very honest, I was never into cars and motorsports in the initial years of my growing up. This actually suddenly happened when I started doing karting during, you know, I'll talk about 96, 97. That was my first karting experience. I used to go to destination point in Faridabad. So that was the only karting that everybody used to know. So we met a lot of friends out there who were actually the old timers in karting, and a lot of people had you know won the championships also, because UK used to hold these championships. So obviously a couple of years we kept on went. I had my local friend from Noida itself. We used to go kart together. So I'm talking about now 2001 now. So when I was doing the karting over there, so you know obviously when we were constantly going into these tracks, so you get the hang of the entire feel, the karting experience and everything. So luckily I managed to, get the fastest lap time in destination point. So guys over there who were actually running the show and who were tuning the carts and everything, they just said कि आप अच्छा चलाते हो, so why don't you participate in the upcoming JK Tire National Championship? वो 2002 में था. So I said नहीं, because I was always on the bulkier side and I had seen karting guys were all leaner and thin, not more than 55-60 kgs, and that time I was also still 71-72 kgs. So I thought maybe I don't have a shot. I said, but nevertheless, it's always good to give it a shot. So I obviously, came regularly to participate, to understand, because everybody knew that, the fastest karting guys are coming here because it's a national title championship. And out
ऊपर
of
से आपने being a 70-75 kilo man, उसके बाद आपने championship जीती है.
correct.
So
I'm coming to that also. And जब हमारे को ये पता चला कि obviously this is a big event and JK is hosting it. So obviously the first thing that came into mind, let's participate. Obviously it's not about winning or losing, it's just a matter of participation.
Correct.
So then I saw some senior karting people also coming in,
Right.
using the same track at destination point. So we did that. But I was still hoping that I still currently hold the fastest track record till that time. So the championship came in, JK came in, and they, it's a lot of pomp and show when JK comes into play. So, the qualifying rounds happened in 2000, and this is basically like a regional round. So I participated from the Delhi round. So there are 6-7 rounds all over India that happened, and from all the rounds, the top 3 drivers will compete at the national title, which happened in Pragati Maidan.
This was on the format of a rallycross event.
No, karting.
Oh,
Just
only
karting only.
Okay,
the rally came on a later stage.
Okay.
So this is just starting how my motorsport eventually started. So I participated in, and the qualifying rounds happened, and to everyone's surprise, I had the fastest lap time that time also. And I was at P1 in my qualifying. So there were 3-4 rounds where you had to qualify, and then you became the regional champion. To my surprise also, and to everybody's surprise out there, because everybody, Jigamani was there, Raymond Banerjee was there, I still held my place and I won the Delhi Regional Championship. That was my first winning event which happened, and it was a very proud moment for me because I never expected a guy who's on the heavier side and first time experience and beating the bigger names in the karting industry. So I held that title, and then eventually after 15 days the grand finale happened in Pragati Maidan. It was a freshly laid tarmac track by JK Tires. So we went there. KNK Ishan was there. We were, driving those carts. So, obviously a lot of media were there, because me being a fresher, so there was a lot of media coming up to me and asking, how was your experience? It was a nice feeling also, obviously, first time coming on to...
And JK Tires being JK Tires.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And
I forgot this to mention that I'm still the only Delhiite who's won Delhi Championship twice in a row. And the Delhi national champion also. So then this happened. Again, the qualifying happened from day 1 till day 2. I still had the fastest qualifying lap. And then rest was history. I won the national title, beating the bigger all 7 regional winners. So I beat them, and it was a big story for me. So obviously I became the prodigy for JK Tires as the only Delhiite, still the only Delhiite to won the national championship. So this is how my what I say is कि शुरू हुआ मेरा motorsports में. And then there was no looking back. Obviously JK sponsored me later on. There was a lot of media coverage. I was on the front news and papers for a couple of months. So that was a big boost. Because never expected that to happen for just a normal guy coming out and doing karting, So then I was sponsored for FISMI Championship, which happened in Chennai and Sriperumbudur and Coimbatore also.
FISMI, it's the name of a championship.
Single seater. Single seater. So over there, I understood the entire concept. Again, came into saloon racing also. So I went after doing the 6-7 rounds. So I had a couple of issues with the cars in the initial runs. So I had 2 or 3 dinners. I still managed to finish overall 4th in the championship.
What were you driving in that?
FISMI only. It's a single seater car. So if you search on the net, you'll get to know what FISMI is all about. It's basically powered with a 1800cc. It's a rear wheel drive. The engine is at the back. Is me.
Okay.
So I became the fourth, overall fourth in the championship, and I became the rookie of the year.
Okay.
From there, I thought maybe circuit racing is not my cup of tea. So I asked JK if I can shift to rallying.
Okay.
And I forgot to mention that I won a car. Maruti had recently launched 1.1 Alto that time.
Oh.
So I won that car. I sold that car, and then I saw the entire people going into rallying and everything. So I thought maybe this is the time I should get into rallying. So that's how I went. I approached my uncle, who is an ex-army personnel. So canteen mein gaye, steam nikali, brand new. Send it to Raj Kapoor to prepare it. And that's how my rallying also started. So my first ever event that took place was Sajoba, and I won that event also, hands down.
Oh wow.
So then from there was no looking back from rallying, and I won Sajoba 9 times. I won raid, not first, but second, third, fourth, fifth. I've done multiple times. I won Dakshin there. I won Desert Storm also. Second, not first again. But then from there was no looking back कि छोड़ना है. But obviously in India, motorsports को लेके sponsorship is very less. But I was a little fortunate that I was the brand ambassador for Valvoline. I launched Team Valvoline into India. So I was with them for 2 years, and then eventually they said that they wanted more mileage for their company thing. So they wanted to be into the circuit thing rather than into the rallying. So I quit.
I see.
Team Valvoline from there. And then on and off, MRF supported me. Then in between, JK Tires also supported me. So on and off, a lot of sponsors came in and went. But like I said, इसमें motorsports के अंदर sponsorship लेना is very hard to get. Motorsports का यहाँ पे जो exposure है, it is very less. You've seen Gaurav Gill also. He's the only guy who's representing WRC, and which is a good feeling, for being an Indian. Somebody is there at that. And then obviously there are bikers.
Good feeling.
Santosh is there, and there are a lot of other riders also who are actually representing into Dakar also.
So
it's a big achievement and a big feeling for them.
After Santosh, many other riders have.
There are a few other riders have gone also. Part of TVS team. And obviously internationally there are smaller events also which people are doing it. But to that scale, only Santosh, and there is one more. I forgot his name. So he's also there. I think he went last year also, and he finished.
Do you aspire to sometime participate in Dakar?
Everybody wants to, being into WRC, and obviously, but then, like I said, it's difficult to go on your own. The amount of money that you're allowed to spend is you can't afford it. As a privateer, you can't afford to spend about 4-5 CR to do one event. Unless you have a backing of a big manufacturer or a sponsor. So it's difficult.
Right.
Every driver or a rallyist or a circuit racer will definitely aspire to go into Formula One or a rally, bigger events internationally to represent India. But it's hard to get because till the time you don't have a backing, it's difficult to do it. So a little unfortunate on those aspects. But then yes, 23 years into motorsport, I put in my entire career.
When did you start Auto Attitudes? ये कब start किया आपने?
Auto Attitudes came in after seeing, being into motorsports and going into different garages, getting my own car prepared. And then I forgot to mention this. Then eventually, I was always a saloon or a sedan driver. I used to drive in a Esteem. Before I used to drive a Zen also. I won a lot of events. In fact, my Zen was the first ever Zen to won a Mughal rally. Overall, second I came in a Zen, first ever. So, then I thought Gypsy is one product where you can do a lot of cross country. It's easier to maintain, and it's more, I'll say it's more rugged than the saloon, because saloon cars, the main disadvantage that we had was the gearboxes. The gearboxes used to break a lot. Then you have to spend a lot of money in buying good suspension. That time only J and then Bilstein was there. So the cost of suspension
back then was considered to be expensive.
Very expensive. Even J and custom make suspension were very good, so we definitely ordered for those when I used to run on that. But then later on, then I decided, after seeing the old rallyist Hari Bhaiya, Sunny Sidhu also. So I thought I think it's time for me to shift into a 4x4 vehicle. So that is where I started doing experiments and searching, and wanted to build a Gypsy. I went to Mayapuri, picked up an army auction vehicle from different garages, from one garage to another garages. I built the entire vehicle and I went for my first raid, the Himalaya event. Before that, I went for the Reiki, understood the entire vehicle. I didn't like the car because my car, I felt it's very slow. So from a 1300cc, everybody said, Aman, you shift to 1600cc and put a Baleno engine.
This is which year you're talking about?
2009.
अच्छा,
First time 2009 I went for raid.
Okay, okay.
And first ever, I went raid in Steam. I won that also. But then Gypsy, I had never won, and everybody gave me a scare that Gypsy is a different ball game altogether. And you'll topple because you're a Steam driver. So I was a little skeptical of how I'm going to put the show together. But anyways, I went for the recce, did my R&D onto the vehicle. I understood how the vehicle performs because it's a different setup. The car bounces too much, you'll break your back because it's pretty rigid. Running on leaf springs and 8-shocker setup. But then when I came back, I did my little homework. So I thought maybe 1300cc would be a very slower car, and I'm not one of those drivers who want to wait for other drivers to fall and then go up to the ladder, climbing the ladder.
But tell me one thing, I mean, first time you went for raid in 2009.
Not first time.
Achha,
in a
Gypsy.
Gypsy.
The first time. In a Gypsy for the first time.
First time I went for raid was 2003 in a Steam.
Okay. Understood. मेरा actually पूछने का मतलब ये था because raid अगर so okay, on this note I'll ask you that question in that case कि first time when you went for raid तो उस time भी आपने recce तो करी होगी?
Yes, I went for the recce, and that recce I went in a Zen. Okay. I had a Zen that time, so I went to do the recce in the Zen. So obviously it's an undercarriage. Like raid Himalaya is not a joke, where you can just go and do the recce also because you need the proper vehicle also. I didn't know about that.
And you need that patience and...
Exactly, because it's a 3,500 kilometer rally over 6 days. And the temperatures are hitting from -5 to -20 also.
So essentially, अगर 6 दिन की rally है, 3,500 kilometers है, and you're doing the equal length of the entire route, you're doing a recce also.
It's exhausting.
It is very exhausting.
But obviously, a lot of people said that there are further ahead stages where you don't want to do the recce because tarmac है, broken है. But वही tarmac के stages में over there, palm के पास वगैरह, there are a lot of undulating discs where you see a lot of older wheels also people are going and toppling over there. So we were skeptical about that particular part, but then obviously the pace notes which were there, not the pace notes, I'm talking about the road book. They were marked. But every dip is not marked eventually. But then whatever best I could do during those days, I actually did it. So, eventually जब ये हुआ, I prepared my car, I took my Gypsy to different workshops because obviously I didn't know how to build a Gypsy. Steam, obviously, I went to Curry, I went to a lot of other places also. But Gypsy, I wanted to see how to build, what is there, it is needed for the rally. Then obviously I called a few people also, the old rallyist, to explain me. Then I went to Dharampalji also to explain me. He helped me कि अमन ये ऐसे करना है, इसको ऐसे build करना है. So a lot of support were given because everybody knew that I was always a decent driver.
Right.
So prepared the car, tested it, swapped the engine with a 1600cc engine, went for it. And that was my first time I was overall leading the rally on day one, which is your Manali, Jalori, and from it used to start from Shimla that time.
Right.
Shimla to Manali was my first day. And I was leading the rally. It was a very good feeling. Eventually, the bigger vehicles and the faster vehicles started taking over because Kaza stages are faster cars. So I finished overall second on that event. Overall, that was my first raid the Himalaya win. As an overall this thing. So then I kept on doing it. A lot of DNS also happened in between, but there was no stopping. So raid I've done almost like close to 9-10 times. So DNS also happened. I won second, third, fourth, fifth also. Even having 11 punctures on day one, 11 punctures.
Day one?
On day one. I had 11 punctures. I don't know what went wrong. I had 11 punctures. I got all my tires busted. God knows for whatever reason. Bad day for me. So I got my tires back from Delhi from my garage. I'll come back to the garage thing also. So this is 2010. So I went to the last position of 47th position. And climbing down the ladder from that 42nd position, I finished overall 5th during that year. God. So I was like crazy driving. So this is how, the rally puts you on your toes.
47th to 5th.
To 5th I came down. So that was an amazing thing. Then I drove for Maruti also for Dakshin there. I won the overall event.
आपको कभी भी मतलब सॉरी मैं पूछना चाह रहा हूँ बट 47th पे होते हुए 5th पे आप आ रहे हो, आपको कभी ऐसा लगा नहीं कि यार मेरे बाप बैठे हुए हैं जो रैली कर रहे हैं मेरी सेम रैली?
Everybody was like just shocked कि this guy has gone, the Surdy has gone crazy. So what is up to? And it's not something कि मैंने जिप्सी पहले चलाई हुई थी. It's just my second year driving a gypsy. फिर उसके बाद मैं Desert Storm भी गया. Then I have done Sajoba also. I won Sajoba in a gypsy also. So the moment I went into this vehicle, I thought maybe this vehicle is something that I can do wonders with it. And people were scared of getting the car going on two wheels or something. I was like going crazy and literally crazy on going sideways, going on two wheels. Like normal routine for me. So later on when I kept on doing it, I won a lot of autocross events. Then in 2016, I won the national title again in a gypsy. A gypsy driver won the national title again. Exactly after 15 years, I won a car again for myself. A Swift I won. National first ever INAC which started Indian
आपने
National.
उसको बोला नहीं कि यार तुम्हें वो जिप्सी एक और दे दे?
Wish exactly. Wish that could have been a possibility. But बस वही था कि motorsports has given me something which I will never forget. I have almost close to 200 plus trophies with me, and still going strong. I had a recent injury on my knee, so I was off and on rallying.
Okay.
But then coming back to auto attitudes, in 2009 when I saw, going to different workshops, seeing things. In 2008, I actually took an training. I went to Mr. Raj Kapoor also. I took little training. I then went to Sikand Motors also to understand what the cars are all about, how to, work.
Sikand Motors is Sanjay Sikand.
Sanjay
Okay.
Sikand
Sanjay
vehicle.
Sikand. Okay.
Then I went to Meerut also.
Okay.
He one of my friends had a Hyundai dealership.
Okay.
So he had a different not motorsport, I'll say modification unit by the name of Speedbug, if you're aware of it.
Okay.
So all our Kabir, all these guys had come to me. I was the one who used to give them flame thrower kits also. So that is how I started coming into modification. So when I left that, then I thought it's high time I should start my own thing, and I came up with this name as Auto Attitudes, and I designed the logo also, which had the differential and everything. In 2009, I started in April, and then there was no looking back. And in fact, I'm the largest gypsy maker in the country. I've done about 987 army auction restored vehicles, including rally cars, till date, on record. Not talking about the civilian cars that come to me and get it serviced or getting customized. So, but technology is changing. Maruti has come up with the latest vehicle, Jimny. I just went for the test drives, and I'm sure it's going to do well.